Welcome to That 80s Show, and if you had heard the conversation Dori and I were having before I hit record, an apt song for this show would have been Come On Eileen.
I thought you were going to say For Your Eyes Only.
Or Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, one of them. We're talking about fucked up eyes.
Yeah.
And Dori has got a horror movie living in her eyes.
Basically.
Oh my God. That's another podcast, What's Happening in Dori's Eyes. It is the last show before Halloween. We're not going full Halloween-y. Remember when we used to do music shows, teaser? We used to play scary songs.
We did.
Oh, we played all the scary songs. Fun times. And, but I've got some Halloween stuff.
Cool.
Got a Halloween movie recommendation, Nightmare on Elm Street. I've got some stuff there. How are you, Dori? I'm Paulo. This is Dori. If you've never listened, that's who we are. Welcome.
Hi. I hadn't planned a Halloween movie, but now that I'm thinking about it, my movie could very easily be a Halloween movie.
Some of the crappy movies. I'm just dancing now. I'm just so enjoying our title track today. I don't know what it is. Hey? It's like synthy.
Great
Dori can't hear it. She's not wearing headphones. She doesn't know what I'm... She just look like a weirdo dancing. The Halloween-y stuff, scary. I just got so into the music. This is That 80s Show. Some announcements to make. This week past, the finalists for the South African Podcast Awards got announced, and we are finalists in the Best Entertainment category.
Yay.
We're also finalists for Best Artwork. So when you look at your phone right now and you see that logo, we're finalists for that. An amazing story there because the designer of that, Aaron, passed away, unfortunately, and I always look at it and I go, amazing, he left us with this gift, because I love our artwork.
And it's a legacy for him, and I love it.
Yeah, it's amazingly talented dude, and he just really captured what our show is about, just looking at that. It's just, I just really feel it is our show, so I'm really glad that we're a finalist there. That is the South African Podcast Awards, and then we also got into, that's South African. We were also finalists in the African Podcast Awards, which just passed. We didn't win, bastards.
We won last year.
And kind of I feel like, do you want to do it twice? I feel like,
Okay. Then we'll just be so bored of awards.
I've already got one of those, I already got one,
Not again.
Not again. You don't want, you want to go EGOT. You don't want to do 2 Grammys. Mm-hmm. You go, okay, I got a Grammy, now we're going EGOT. So I think that's what we're about. And then we popped up with another one, an international, Hubhopper and Pod Squeeze International Podcast. That's international. And we're a finalist, and we're also waiting to find out. We were a semi-finalist, and now we're hoping to find out if we're a finalist. But we're telling you guys that because of you guys, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of you voted for us in the Hubhopper one. When we really do appreciate it. And not only did you vote, you stayed. So people are like, oh, I didn't even know you guys do a show like this. I love it. Friends of ours, and we're glad that you stuck around. But the reason I'm saying this is not like a pat on the back. I don't need that, Dori. I don't need a pat on the back.
Yes, you do.
I do, but I give myself many. When you used to slow dance in the 80s in your mirror and wrap your arms around you and pretend, right? So I do that. I'm very good at that. But we do it because we go, you know what? If we didn't do such a good show for you, and that's who we do it for you. We go, will listeners like this? When we're editing the show, when we're planning the show, we go yes, we want to enjoy it, but there's people who enjoy it, and we raise the level, and the level gets there that people go, wow, you guys are doing a good show. And we go, the better we get, the more you demand of us, the better we get. And the best thing is nothing in the show ever expires. So you can always go back and listen and catch up. Coming up today, like I mentioned, some Halloween-y stuff. Dori, the socials were abuzz this week.
Okay. I'm not on the socials much anymore, hey? I've become a bit more boomery.
Do you do
than Gen Xy.
You're back to emails.
Back to fax.
Back to fax? Wow.
No, I'm joking. I am indeed back to emails. But I'm even bored of Facebook.
So much.
I'm even bored of Facebook.
Well, listen,
and I never thought I'd get bored of Facebook.
No, I mean, don't get bored of That 80 Show essay on Facebook.
No, not that page.
Everything we talk about on today's show will be on That 80 Show essay on Facebook. But the other socials were abuzz with something.
With what?
Dori, did you know, or it was presented to me as such, that The Breakfast Club had a sequel called Bender Goes to College.
What?
Yeah. So I see this thing. I'm like, what? The Breakfast Club, the unreleased Breakfast Club sequel. I'm like, what the shit? Like,
how does Bender go to college? It's like a total drop.
Okay, exactly. So, like, you're going, what the shit? And it's like footage, unreleased footage. You go, no way.
Is this AI?
That's what you think. First of all, you're like, no, this is not AI. This is legit. This is something really shot and filmed. So Bender, of course, Judd Nelson's character, the rebel.
The cool one.
The cool one that walks off. We all know the iconic walking in the high school field, fist up in the air, cue music. Don't you forget about me. Hey. I'm watching this thing, and it's a typical 80s college scene, and a car drives up, and true as God, but now it's playing Don't You Forget About Me, right?
Okay.
And Judd Nelson gets out of the car wearing like a pinkish suit. I'm like, that is not Bender. That's like so anti-Bender. You're like, what happened here? Like, because now they're presenting it.
Okay.
Even this title comes up and it's the Breakfast Club font. I'm like, no, what the? Bender Goes Breakfast Club 2. No, this is so anti what the Breakfast Club is. And you watch it and it's like that scene. And there's a couple of scenes that they're now presenting as shot footage of Breakfast Club 2. But the character is totally not Bender.
Doesn't sound like it.
But it's Judd Nelson. Shenanigans. I'm like, no. This looks like a normal run-of-the-mill 80s movie. This is not the Breakfast Club. So I got to investigate. I got to, follow the thread. Here's what happened, Dori. Sneaky little bitches on the internet, little children playing games with us. They presented this thing. It started off on Reddit. Now I don't even know if Reddit's a social media. I don't even know what that is. Reddit, let's trick boomers. Let's trick boomers into thinking.
It's actually more Gen X.
Gen X.
Yeah.
Let's trick Gen X. So they presented it and what they did is they cut footage from a movie called Making the Grade.
Which you've talked about.
But
yes.
Why? But that's why it was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, because I thought
but they
Judd Nelson in college, that sounds familiar because you've done a movie about that.
But they were missing scenes from Making the Grade. That's why it took a while to piece it together. So Making the Grade is basically what happens is, like we said, there's a rich prep kid school. The typical douchebag 80s guy, he wore the jersey over his shoulders, two golf shirts, popped collars. And he's about to get expelled from prep school. And he gets Judd Nelson's character to basically fill in and pretend he's him while he goes off skiing.
Right.
Andrew Dice Clay's in it, playing a gangster called Dice. Andrew Dice Clay. Let's talk about it. I fucking loved him. Anyway, so that is the plot of Making the Grade. Presented to us as the Breakfast Club 2 sequel.
So basically man-made AI.
Huh. But, I got to admire the ruse.
Yes.
But
you were almost caught.
I was almost caught.
Will you put this on our Facebook page?
I'll put it up there. Listen, if you've watched Making the Grade, you're going to go, but I've seen this. This is bullshit. I've seen this.
Okay.
Dori,
yes?
Who do you think out of the Breakfast Club had say the Breakfast, say there was a sequel.
Yeah.
Say we had to make like 5 subsequent short films about the characters from the Breakfast Club 5 years later.
Okay.
Or 5 years, 10 years, 5 to 10, pick.
Right.
What do you think their lives are looking like?
Sure. Are we going to go through them?
But you don't have to go through. Just top of your head. I've thrown it at you. You're not expecting. Bender's not going to college. But
No.
I think Bender comes good.
Yeah, I think he
had that rabble-rouser spirit. I don't think he's ending up
I think him and
downtrodden.
Molly, Claire, in Breakfast Club, get together.
Okay.
He kind of makes her relax a little bit, and she kind of makes him,
Aspire.
become a little bit more of less of a loser dropout.
Okay.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of get together, but they don't stay together. They don't end up married with kids.
Okay, but they're very important to each other at a crucial stage of their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And friends forever type vibe.
He goes to community college, gets a business diploma.
Yes, and she goes off and does whatever rich girls do and does meet, another person, but she's different.
Okay.
He's changed her.
Okay, good. That's a good one.
All right. Ali Sheedy goes back to her goth ways because I freaking hate that makeover at the end.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to go.
Yeah, it's very pandering. It was very pandering. Yeah.
That is not her. She goes back to her goth ways and her goth style and her goth sense and finds her place as a writer in a writing community with lots of cats, and she's happy.
And she's happy. And she was the first person to see Nirvana before they broke. And she saw them. She said, those guys are going to make it big.
Okay, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so she kind of discovered Nirvana in a way.
All right.
She wrote about them. And
she's an artist, and she did their original cover art, which they then said, no, we're rather going to put a baby in a pool and do that.
Great. Okay, so we have that. Okay, cool. Emilio Estevez's character is back at the school as a high school football coach.
Oh, yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's just easy.
Yeah.
That's
also
easy.
Married,
yeah.
Kids, very like normal life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was good. So
wait, we didn't do Anthony Michael Hall. I can't think of his character's name now.
So what happens?
Nerdy guy.
What happens to him?
He goes on to discover some major scientific thing and becomes a total genius and wins a Nobel Prize.
I think more that he found some tech company, but like a Windows-based tech company, and then becomes an angel investor and invested in the first iteration of TikTok, even though it's Chinese.
Or he funds Judd Nelson's company that they are going to business together.
And Judd Nelson's company is a boot on-demand delivery service. Need boots? Booter. BOT.R. Booter will deliver. Or you could call it Bender, but people go, well, what am I ordering? The Bends? You know? So Booter and like
Booter by
boots.
Bender.
Like who near you has boots? And then you get them from that person. And it gets delivered in an Uber in the boot. Okay?
Oh, my God, we've lost you.
All right.
You've gone down a boot rabbit hole. Breakfast Club boots.
A bendy boot rabbit
Bender's
hole.
boots.
So
I like it.
if it pops up, because listen, we know our audience, it does take them a while to find the trends on social media. The algorithm ignores you for a bit and then it'll kick it back into you. So when it does pop up that there was a Breakfast Club sequel, don't watch it, watch ours. And if you are going to watch it, rather watch Making the Grade. It was a fun movie, and it was made a year before Breakfast Club.
Oh, before. Okay.
Made before Breakfast Club. So we, on that 80s show, like to talk about 80s related documentaries. I want to play you the trailer, Dori, of 2 in particular, and then I'll read you, well, you'll hear from the documentary what they're about. One I've been busting to talk about for ages. Both of these are available if you look hard enough on the streaming platforms or, on the grown-up parts of the internet. Dori, pop your headphones on because I want to play you 2 trailers. The first one is, listen, in the 80s, were you a Gary Coleman or were you a Webster man? What was Webster's real name?
Wasn't Webster more 90s? I feel like it was. I loved Gary Coleman.
I feel we had like a plethora of like really short actors in the 80s.
Webster was Emmanuel Lewis.
Emmanuel Lewis, thank you. Yeah. Like both.
Yeah.
I like what you're talking about, Willis.
What you talking about, Willis?
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a documentary about his life. Dude has
some kind of sad stuff, hey? There was a lot of...
Take a listen to the story.
The kid was a true star.
Different Strokes was a groundbreaking show. The audience loved Gary.
He had a spirit about him. He was always an entertainer.
If someone had told me my life would have been like this early enough where I could have got out, I would have got out.
That actor's parents and business advisors skimmed some of his earnings.
They took $770,000 and gave it to themselves.
I'd have taken that very deeply to heart.
He said, I just wanted to say goodbye. I cannot take this anymore. And we cried. His life was fraught with disappointments. From 1985 until his death, he lived with not a single kidney.
All he wanted was to find somebody who he could love.
Their relationship was tumultuous.
Alan, when was your emergency? Send someone quick. There's a lot of blood on the floor.
The death of Gary Coleman was suspicious.
I don't know what I can say without being sued.
People think that I did this because I'm the ex-wife. I'm the evil person, right?
His life is a cautionary tale.
A big man in this little kid's body.
The greatest child actor of all time.
There's certain performers that change our lives. He was one of them.
Feels, hey?
Wow.
Hey, that's dramatic as shit.
Very dramatic. Holy moly.
So Gary Coleman, cautionary tale. I mean, probably one of the poster people for child stars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's quite in the news right now, you know, Liam Payne from One Direction, and raising the whole conversation about too much too soon. And there's more protection in place compared to what kids had to go through in the 80s. And I think Gary Coleman was one of them. Very sad story. He was adopted, right?
Okay.
I did not know that. He suffered. The reason he never grew was he had kidney challenges. But then the story goes, I mean, he died in 2010. He developed seizures. And his death kind of seen as, well, he had a seizure and fell down the stairs and got admitted to hospital. The allegations are, did he fall down the stairs?
Well, what would have been the motive to push him down the stairs?
That's the question they ask.
So what is this documentary called?
Gary.
Just Gary.
Just Gary.
Okay.
Easy to remember. Just Gary. That's one.
Okay.
Fascinating. Going to give it a watch. I think that is on Peacock.
I'm actually kind of interested to watch that.
Yeah.
It'll be sad, though.
It's pretty good. It covers the extraordinary story of Gary Coleman's rise to international fame as a child star of different strokes, his struggles with fame, and the controversy surrounding his tragic death at the age of just 42. For the first time, viewers will get an insight into Coleman's private world through exclusive interviews with his fellow actors, industry insiders, and his estranged ex-wife and parents. Okay?
Sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Another one, completely the other side of it.
Yeah.
So many people have been saying, you guys got to watch this. You guys got to talk about it. What do you think? I want you to watch it, talk about it. This is the absolute other end of it.
In the 80s, it was an exciting time in music. It was amazing.
You had to have lived it.
Go all the way. More hair, more clothes, tighter pants. That is what rock and roll is about.
This heavy metal music, is all of it bad?
To me, they're all satanic. I don't want anything to do with it.
On tour, every human depravity came out.
He's throwing meat and blood at the audience.
I wanted to play so hard that my hands would bleed. I would have blood on my snare all the time.
He modified the codpiece and put explosives in it. We just heard a big boom. The thing backfired into his balls.
They made it seem so awesome to just have sex and do drugs.
It was nothing but a good time, not the life I live.
I feel like I'm going to die, so I probably shouldn't be in this band.
When you have that level of dominance, there's nowhere else really to go except for off the cliff.
Randy winds up taking a joyride.
I'm awakened by boom! That I was going to take care of him. I brought him back home in a box.
I had to change my life, get back on track.
The music withstood the test of time.
They really changed the game.
We bet on ourselves, and when it paid off, it was awesome.
You didn't realize what a magical time you were in.
So that is Nothing But a Good Time, right? And it's basically the story of 80s hair metal, the phenomenon of 80s hair metal. People fell in love with it then, still love the music now, was part of the satanic panic. What wasn't?
Yes.
I don't know if you're in there. The one mother says, no, we can't listen to it. It's just evil and satanic. And she's sitting next to her son and he's like just giving the most dismissive, like you are fucking crazy. So very much in the kind of vein of The Dirt, which was the story of Motley Crue. You would hear one voice in there. You go, who is that voice? Who is that voice? You don't know all the voices. Who is that voice? It's Steve-O from Jackass, and it's directed by Jeff Tremaine, who directed Jackass. Even the music, didn't you hear the music? A very Jackass feel. And of course, the stories they're talking about people's cod pieces blowing up and burning their balls is totally Jackass. So you know what you're getting into here. Brett Michaels, Stephen Percy, Nuno Betancourt.
All these hot, young metal
And that's it. Tight
men.
pants.
Yeah, with their long hair.
Oh.
And, yeah, no, I'll watch
Glistening. It's going to have a little bit of everything because they definitely, the Jackass guys, Jeff Tremaine is definitely going to climb into and lean into the depravity. And then you're going to have a lot of crotch shots. And then there's also going to be, there's so many tales. So many tales. I mean, Nikki Sixx, I believe that The Dirt is great as a movie. The book, Nikki Sixx's book, is like, has nothing on The Dirt. I mean, they talk about how they just kept dying. They just kept dying. They take overdoses. They would just die and come back to be brought back to life. Like, this is what they did. They took so much drugs. They lived so hard. They would literally just die.
And they're still here.
They're still here. It's unreal. The devil looks after his own, if you believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
So those
Look at the Rolling Stones.
Hey.
Those who are left.
Keith Richards, yeah.
I mean.
So that is Nothing But a Good Time. It's been out for about a month. That is on Paramount Plus. Now, find these things, Nothing But a Good Time, and Gary will put the trailers up on that 80 Show essay on Facebook. Dori won't see them because she's over social media, but you can see them.
I'm still going to look at our page.
You can watch them. Dori does check out the page to find them. I want to watch this. I really want to watch this.
They both sound great.
So we get into movie recommendations. But before that, Dori, I am going to give you a challenge, a clue, according to science. Science, Dori. You know science?
I've heard of it.
Okay. So according to science, I don't know which science, I don't know where, I just got this. I'm not going to back anything up with facts. Why start now? We're an award-winning 12-year-old show. Why start with facts now? Science has found the funniest movie ever made, and it's an 80s movie.
Wow.
Think about that. Now, doesn't surprise you because movies just aren't funny anymore.
No, very, very few.
Oh, no, they just can't be funny. In the 90s, where we had late 90s, early 2000s, where we had a lot of comedies, kind of like the frat pack comedies. I don't know if they were funny, but to Jackass, they were probably more gross than anything.
Yeah.
And you found them funny because of who you were. You're like late teens, early 20s, like Hangover, Wedding Crashers, Old School.
Yeah. And I mean, even there, it's just parts that are funny.
Yeah. They're funny scenes.
Yeah.
Then Will Ferrell, I think that was kind of the last vestige of funniness. Anchorman, those types of things.
Oh, God, yes, Anchorman.
Right, but you said that in a super dismissive way.
No. Anchorman's great. Yeah, I mean, if I think back to movies and stuff from the 80s, that you would just laugh the whole way through.
That's exactly
the whole
it.
way through.
That's exactly it. We were allowed to be funny.
Yeah, so now I'm really curious as to what science says.
Science has said that this is the funniest movie ever made. It has a hit rate of 3 jokes every 60 seconds.
Wow.
Or 3 jokes per 60 seconds.
Per 60 seconds.
So like a joke every 20 seconds.
3 jokes a minute.
3 jokes a minute. Okay. Every 20 seconds there's a joke.
Can I take a guess?
Well, I'm going to give you 3 options. There's 261 jokes in 87 minutes of this movie. Okay? That's another thing why 80s movies were so funny.
They were short. Shorter.
Because you had to fit it onto a cassette.
Yep.
And you only had the 90s. You only had 90 minutes. Right?
Yep.
So it had to be, we had to cut. That's why they were better. 261 jokes in 87 minutes. I'm going to give you 3 options. The funniest movie of all time, according to science. Option A, Caddyshack. Option B, Beverly Hills Cop. Or option 3, Airplane.
Sure. I would have actually guessed that it would have been like a Gene Wilder or one of those. As funny, Beverly Hills Cop's funny, but not constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to knock that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Caddyshack, I don't even remember.
No.
I actually don't even remember it. Airplane's probably quite likely because it's a spoof.
Shirley.
Stop calling me Shirley.
Shirley it is the funniest movie of all time. Correct, Dori. Airplane, the funniest movie of all time. And if you actually go back
that actually makes sense.
It totally makes... It is non-stop, that movie. Science says that's the funniest movie of all time.
I mean, then logically Naked Gun is in there as well.
I mean, think about that. They made the movie in 1980. They've not made a funnier movie.
Imagine.
In 44 years, they've not made a funnier movie.
I'm trying to think the movies that made me laugh the most. I mean, I was saying Gene Wilder because I was thinking of The Producers, which I don't even know if that's from. It might be from the 70s.
I've produced a lot of Gene Wilder's really big hits were 70s.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles was also
that
70s.
Was hilarious, though. Even Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
Oh.
Hilarious. A movie that I laughed so much in from the 90s, Boomerang.
Really?
Thought it was one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Look, Eddie Murphy can do no wrong, but...
I know it was such a flop. It was a total flop, but I found it hilarious.
Okay. I can't... Like I say, I don't know if a movie... Like, obviously Hangover, the first Hangover was so funny, but was it really funny or was it just like... Because you... I mean, if you think of Hangover, we're at that age, I was certainly at that age, where you did start going to like close friends' bachelor parties and you're like, oh my God.
And weird shit.
I want... Is it just like because you relate or like American Pie? American Pie wasn't funny.
Parts of it were very funny.
I think parts were funny.
Yeah,
Could you go back and watch it?
Funny.
Yeah.
Anyway. But I suppose, did you ever see a movie called Very Bad Things?
What's it about?
It's about.
I have seen it.
I think it's also a bachelor party in Vegas that goes very wrong.
Yes, they kill the sex worker.
Yes, by accident.
They kill the sex worker. Dori, this is in 80 shows. They kill the hooker. They kill the hooker, Dori.
That was such a good movie. Extremely dark comedy.
Yeah.
Very dark.
Listen, moral of the story.
I'm going to rewatch Airplane.
So good.
I need to rewatch Airplane. Like, I need to show it to my kid.
That's a good idea. I had it, but you got to watch it. I mean, I know it's on streaming services. I did used to have it on VHS, but it disappeared. I've got it on DVD.
Cool.
I've got a special release DVD. Bonus features. More jokes.
Oh, my God.
Even
extra jokes.
Extra jokes. What a treat I'm in for. Last week, we went back to the Seinfeld show and the cast and looked at what were the cast doing in the 80s just before Seinfeld became a hit. And one of the things we did mention, I was reminded of this clip. Somebody got in touch during the week that we said Jerry Seinfeld was, along with being on Benson, he was on a movie, kind of like a made-for-TV movie done by Danny DeVito called The Ratings Game. And he was in a blink and you could miss it scene.
Yeah.
Like so quick. And somebody reminded me of the scene, right?
Cool.
I got the clip because it works as a piece of audio. This is not for sensitive ears, okay? But it is so, like we've said, Jerry Seinfeld's not a great actor. Jerry Seinfeld
he's himself.
He can only be Jerry.
He's funny, but he's himself.
This is the most Jerry Seinfeld thing you ever heard. So his character, The Ratings Game, is about a guy who he owes people money. He gets into Hollywood, makes a TV show, laundering money, blah, 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 blah. Figures out how to get money made, blah, and all the rest of it. Jerry Seinfeld plays this young executive who's now in charge of choosing which TV shows make it to air, right? So this is literally him in The Ratings Game.
Networks aren't buying Italians, Jews, Puerto Ricans this season. They're buying gays, alcoholics, child molesters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stuff you can't say today, but you could have said any time in the 80s.
Hey, wow. And that is Jerry Seinfeld in The Ratings Game. And this week we get into our movie recommendations portion. Let's see what Dori has in store for us.
So I decided to look for something different because I think I've been like a bit too serious with my recommendations.
Good.
So I thought, let me look for something silly. So I thought, let me search an actor or actress who's generally silly and find something that they've done that I maybe had forgotten about.
Right.
And boy, was I successful. I decided to search Shelley Long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw in something the other day. Okay, let's go. Let's see.
Let's
see where this ends up.
I mean, Shelley Long is actually one of the most underrated comedic actresses. Comedians. She has got that perfect comic timing. Mm-hmm. She's got the talent,
She is not like goofy funny. I think because she's got this like Charlie's Angel girl look, you kind of go, but she can't be funny. She's too pretty to be funny.
But then she really is funny.
Then she's really funny. Yeah.
I mean, most people will know her from Cheers, but of course she did a few really big movies in the 80s.
Yeah.
This was not one of the big movies, but it ticks the box.
I cannot tell you how much I love it when we start talking about a massive personality name from the 80s and we go, but this is not one of their bigger movies.
We've spoken about their bigger movies.
I love it. Like, go listen to other podcasts for their bigger movies. Okay, go to YouTube about their bigger movies. If you want to hear about their random shit, this is the place to be. I love it.
Absolutely, because the thing is, we've spoken about the bigger movies already.
Exactly.
And we are now in territory where it's like...
It's a true story. We're over 200 shows in.
Yeah.
We've been talking about Terminator. We've told people about Beetlejuice. We got to get creative.
We have spoken about Outrageous Fortune.
Oh, yeah.
We're not speaking about Outrageous Fortune today.
We've done Splash. You know what I mean?
If you're here for Back to the Future, well, actually, yes, you'll get lots of Back to the Future
We've got some Back to the Future coming up.
This, I'm gonna read. You probably won't even remember this movie. Even if I tell you what it's called, you won't remember. But then I was like, oh my God, I definitely saw this, but it was very forgettable.
Okay.
It's a 1987 romantic fantasy comedy film.
Oh, fucking
okay.
I'm in.
Okay. Starring Shelley Long, Judith Ivey, Gabriel Byrne, Corbin Burnson of LA Law fame, Celia Ward, Austin Pendleton, who you'll know when you see, and a bunch of other people, including Ileana Douglas, one of my favorites. The movie's called Hello Again.
You know what? I was like, you are either going to do Troop Beverly Hills or Hello Again.
Oh, so you know it.
Oh, fucking it's such a piece of crap.
Right? But it ticks all those shenanigan 80s movies boxes.
Outstanding.
Coming back from the dead.
Oh.
Like shenanigans. Just shenanigans.
Just shenanigan nonsense wrapped up
Total nonsense.
in 90 minutes.
So in a nutshell, she's this housewife and she chokes on a South Korean chicken ball, to be specific, and dies. But then her sister Zelda, of course Zelda, what else would she be called, gets hold of a book of spells and manages to bring her back from the dead a year later.
Yeah.
But of course it's a year later, so her husband has moved on with her friend, supposed friend. Her son has, instead of going to university, he's gone and done some other stuff that he wasn't supposed to do. The one thing that makes this quite different to those this is a genre that was very big in the 80s, coming back from the dead.
Yeah, there was quite a few of them.
There was a lot of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when I say it's horror adjacent, it's got that like mystical, bit of macabre, back from the dead, a bit of a zombie type idea.
We never saw her zombied, right?
No, she's not zombie. She comes back as like perfectly
She looks
normal
like
and
her,
healthy.
yeah.
But there is a condition, which is that if she doesn't find love by the next full moon, she'll have to go back to the spirit world.
That was it.
Yes.
That was it.
So, I mean, logically, she's thinking she'll go back to her husband, but he's moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, there is a hot doctor.
Yes.
Do you want to play the trailer?
Jason and Kim had all the ingredients for a perfect modern marriage. Style, status, and each other. Until one night, his dead wife, Lucy, decided to come home.
You're dead!
I'm alive. How did I get here?
Now, Jason doesn't know what to do.
What are you doing here?
This keeps coming up.
Kim doesn't know what's going on.
This is insane. Who are you?
And everybody in the world seems to be after Lucy.
What is going on, Zelda? Did you put funny herbs in my tea?
Mom, I don't think you've realized the importance of what's happened to you.
They never thought life after death would be like this.
Let's go say hello.
You can't say hello. He was at your funeral.
Hello again.
Corbin Burnsen's character in there, who's he moved on to?
Celia Ward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's unfortunate. Your wife did die.
I mean...
Were they having an affair before she passed away?
No, but Celia Ward was her friend.
Yeah, but still, grief, it happens. Grief does stuff. There's nothing, well done, Corbin Burnson.
Well done, Seal Award.
Oh, both of them.
Both
I
of
think.
them.
Geez, I think.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't blame either of them for,
No,
doing what
exactly.
they did. Finding solace in each other's arms.
And each other's bosoms and bodies. Well done. Both very chesty people.
Yeah. So the thing that happened in this movie that's kind of not expected is that the media finds out that this woman came back from the dead. Because usually in these movies, nobody finds out.
Because that's the thing. Like, people can see her.
Yeah,
everyone can see her.
She's not a ghost.
Because sometimes they go, oh, only the people that you knew can see her. Or people can see her.
She's not a ghost.
Back.
She's a physical person.
Yeah, she's totally back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they find out and it gets like this big frenzy. But yeah, I mean, the one review said basically that was the one disappointment, was that they don't actually go into what would realistically happen if somebody could come back from the dead. I mean, that's a world-changing event. But it's 80s, so it's like, oh, okay, let's move on.
The first thing you're going to hear, this person's lying.
Well, that's how it eventually gets explained, is that she made it up and she faked her death. Yeah.
So tell me, spoiler alert, does she find love?
She does.
But
and all of them live happily ever after. Everyone
doesn't she
lives
start
happily ever after.
she like obviously finds love like on midnight, but she starts disappearing or something? Is that the movie? I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Because obviously they got to have drama, suspense. She finds love at the moment.
Let's not spoil it. I think everyone should watch it. Came no matter. I'm lying. Don't watch it.
Hello again. Good recommendation, Dori.
Yeah, I was quite proud of finding it.
I think it's quite Halloweeny.
It's Halloweeny enough.
I think it's Halloweeny enough. Good. Well done. Thanks. I like that. Nice movie. I wanted a movie that when, because 80s horror is like, there's a lot of 80s horror, right?
Yeah.
Plenty. And you can go, okay, well, we can do all the 80s horror. Then there was another genre of like B-grade schlocky horror who knew how shitty they were and were intentionally bad.
Like the body stuff.
Yeah, the body stuff, yeah. They knew what they were.
Yeah.
So I needed something that went, listen, it needs to be horror enough, but also needs to sit somewhere that it's total, absolute rubbish bullshit. Right? So I found it.
Of course you did.
Now, of course, I'm like, I found it done by, and what I also like, finding a movie that's done by really good people who should know better. And for whatever reason, they've made a bad decision, had to pay off a gambling debt, thought something else had happened with the movie. This movie's done by George Romero.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he's done Night of the Living Dead. All of his movies ended up with dead. He was like the
dead guy.
The dead guy, the horror movie dead guy.
The horror movie icon legend.
Yeah. He's iconic in horror movies, right? From the 70s. So he gets a hold of this movie. I'm going to tell you the name of the movie straight up. You want to watch it. Maybe you would have. It's called Monkey Shines.
No, I've never heard of it.
So I'm busy looking through movie trailer. What am I going to watch? What am I going to watch? And my wife overhears this trailer and she goes, Stop
die horlosie.
Stop die YouTube. I don't care what it is. You are watching that movie. That's your movie for the week. I'm going to play you the part of the trailer she heard when she said stop.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we're very multimedia today. We've got a lot of clips. This is the trailer she heard. This is Monkey Shines. And this is where she said, do it.
A man trapped by his own body.
To Alan, to the start of his new life.
So you train monkeys exclusively for quadriplegics? How about if I were to donate a monkey?
Oh my God, I have to watch this movie.
That's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying.
You had me at train monkeys.
You train monkeys. You're like, of course. Specifically for quadriplegics. I'm like, well, I mean.
I'm in.
I'm only human. Right. Oh boy.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear more about it.
I'm so glad my wife paid attention to me for those 15 seconds.
And she knows you so well.
The story goes, we meet this guy, Alan. Okay. He's like kind of, you're left to deduce that he's some sort of college athlete because they never cover this, right?
Okay.
In subsequent reading, and is based on a book, he's a college athlete. He's got a scholarship at a university. Even though he comes from a rich family, he doesn't want to make it on his family's money. So he gets into his university.
Hang on, this is like a young kid because Alan sounds like an old man.
He looks like an old man. He's
Okay.
played by a 50-year-old man, but he's a university student, okay? Okay, he's played by who's the actor now? I've just lost his name now. Jason Bigg. Now Jason.
Oh, I know exactly who Jason Bigg is.
Chicago FD. He's one of the Jason Bigg. He's
Okay.
played, right, but he doesn't look like a law student. Maybe he could be 22, 23. But anyway, so we meet him. He's going on a run. Okay, cool athlete with a bag full of bricks. That's how he trains. Never explained why he's got a bag full of bricks. Whatever.
Well, for weights.
Assumed, right?
Yeah.
Maybe can't afford books. And he gets scared by a dog on his run, and he jumps out and gets hit by a truck, right? And now he's paralyzed.
Oh, paralyzed. I thought you were going to say dead.
No, paralyzed from the neck down, right? Quadriplegic.
I'm looking this movie up.
Oh, you got to. So
Is it one word or two?
Monkey Shines. It's 2 words. Now, Monkey Shines actually is it's a 1930s word for the 1920s word shenanigans.
Oh,
So people, Paulo
okay.
and Dori get up to some monkey shines this week. You know, it means like fooling around. Japes.
I'm just reading the synopsis.
Oh, yeah.
I can't deal.
No, you can't.
I can't deal.
A quadriplegic man has a train. No, don't read it. Okay, I'm going to. Okay, so he gets paralyzed, right?
Okay.
So he's now meets this expert doctor, and the doctor's played by Stanley Tucci. And he's like,
love Stanley Tucci. Oh my God.
You'll hate him. He's such a dick. He's such a dick in
He's
this.
amazing. He can do
He's
anything.
so arrogant. He's such a dick doctor. And he's like, no, there's nothing I can do for you. You won't die, but you're going to be paralyzed, right?
See Stephen Root's in it as well. What a
Dori,
great cast.
that's what I'm saying. How have
I not heard of this movie?
Oh, you're hearing about it now.
I'm so excited.
You've not heard about it because you haven't listened to this podcast yet. And
I
when you
know.
listen, you'll know about this movie. So he's a dick doctor, and now Alan goes back home. He comes from a rich family, and he's now at home, and he's like, oh, I'm so upset. I'm paralyzed. I was an
My life's
athlete.
over. Yeah.
What am I going to do? His friend is played by John Pankow. Mad About You. He was the cousin of Paul Reiser's character. And he's also a student, very old-looking student. He's a scientist, and he's doing an experiment where they train monkeys to help paralyzed people. Okay?
Kind of like a guide dog?
Kind of like, and it's a real thing, apparently. They really do that. People are paralyzed. They get capuchin monkeys, and they train them to help you.
Okay.
Oh, but John Pankow's got something like extra bit of it. He has been storing a human brain, and every day he shaves off a bit of the human brain and injects it into the monkey, right?
Makes perfect sense.
So that the monkey can get smarter. That's how the monkey's so smart, because he's smart because of his training, but he gets smarter. Now,
from monkey brain carpaccio.
Shaved brains. Yeah, that's it. That's what happens. Not Indiana. Remember, this is reverse Indiana Jones, where they eat monkey brains. No, this is the other way around. Monkeys getting human brains in their bum. Right.
Okay.
So now he gets this monkey, and now the monkey's helping him. But through something that I can't quite explain, and I've read something else on it, the monkey and Alan now start getting connected telepathically. So
makes perfect sense.
Right?
No
Now,
need to explain.
One of the theories I read is that this movie went through a whole bunch of cuts. Okay? George Romero hates this movie because he said he made one movie and then they cut the movie to get the runtime.
Can't we get the original cut?
The George Romero cut. Release the Romero cut, you know? And in that Romero cut, it said, no, it's possibly explained that he had removed parts of Alan's brain and was injecting with Alan's brain. I don't know. Anyway, Alan and the monkey called Ella. Now, Alan and Ella connected. Now, how Alan knows this is because he gets this terrible nurse, and he's like, obviously can't do anything. Oh, there's this very horrible scene where they have this device that they use to bathe him, and he's like hanging in this thing, and then they leave him hanging there. There's a lot of very demeaning things. They treat Alan terribly.
Okay.
They treat him terribly. And she brings a parakeet now, okay? And
God, there's so many animals in this movie.
The parakeet attacks Alan, and she laughs. She's like, fuck you. So Alan's like, oh, if only, I fucking hate that parakeet. Ella kills it, right? Then, next thing, Alan's, what happened to my girlfriend? I had a girlfriend. She left me. right? She abandoned me in my hour of need.
Of course.
Figures out Stanley Tucci, Dick Doctor, bonking his girlfriend.
Of course.
Okay, he finds this out. Oh, if only I could get revenge. Bang, monkey cam. We then go into the monkey Ella, and we're tracking her on this like 200,000 kilometer run to a forest in the woods to burn down Dick Dr. Stanley Tucci's cabin. Right?
Okay.
Now,
that
Alan
seems weird.
It's a dream. Alan wakes up. Shit, that was a weird dream. I was a monkey. And I'm running through to go kill them. Phone call. They dead. Died in a cabin. Shit.
Both of them, hey?
Both of them. So now he's got, fuck.
So hang on. It's an arsonist monkey.
It's a murderous monkey, Dori. Because it does all sorts of things. Kills his mother. Throws a hairdryer in the tub. Yeah, to kill his mother because his mother's being a bitch to him.
Everyone's so mean to him.
Everyone's so mean to him.
So he can think what he wants to happen in the monkey.
So there's a
monkey do.
You know what? One of the names was for the movie was going to be Monkey See, Monkey Do.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the very interesting things about this is it goes like, now a monkey by its nature, and animals aren't murderous. They're not vengeful. They're not spiteful. Okay.
Generally not.
Except cats.
Hey.
They're not vengeful or spiteful. But when a human influences their mind, they become murderous. Right? So this is the interesting concept in it.
Sure,
because,
it's quite deep.
Yeah, it's not the animal's nature to kill, but it's the human's nature to be vengeful. And now the monkey goes,
Controlling the animal.
I'll control you, yeah. So there's an interesting concept in there. The only person who's not a dick to him is the lady who trains the monkeys. Okay, so she's the one who trained the monkey, firstly.
Yeah.
To be good. And then John Pankow comes to make the monkey bad. John Pankow takes all the drugs, by the way. We found out later he's got a major drug problem. Okay, hence brain shaving.
I mean,
you're not going to shave brains if you're in a good space.
Sober.
Yeah, you know. So she now goes and they have a little bit of a thing. They fall in love. This movie answers the question: has a movie ever accurately depicted quadriplegic sex, and not in a fetish way, like in mainstream? You'll find those websites. And it is the first mainstream movie that displayed quadriplegic sex.
Wow.
And when you see it, you go, okay, that makes sense. I can see it. Very, nothing is left.
I have so many questions.
Oh, yeah, very little is left.
Sure. So many questions.
To the imagination.
I don't think I can ask these questions out
no,
loud.
Don't. I mean, we are enjoying a run of success, and I don't want to go to jail. So go look it up for yourself.
Oh, well.
Okay, and you actually can't find that scene on non-adult sites. I tried to look.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot find it.
I mean, I read a book written by a quadriplegic woman, and she has sex. You know what I mean?
Obviously, you will, yeah. And you ask how, and then this movie, and then it said that's how, and you go, okay, well, that's interesting, very interesting. And we could go into serious conversation, and there is merit, but we're not that show. So the monkey's like, fuck this shit. He's in love with her. I'll fucking kill her.
No.
But you wonder, does he want to kill her? Does Alan want to kill her?
Or is the monkey become sentient?
What's going on here? Is it a question?
Is it
it
like
confusing?
an AI monkey?
Did they mean it? It's not AI. They had no AI in the 80s.
Yeah, I
They
know.
had fax machines.
Yeah.
So the whole thing comes to a head, literally because Alan kills the monkey by biting it.
Really?
Yeah, because the thing is the monkey loves him. So now he then lures the monkey through like a delicate touch moment, like, love me. And then the monkey just wants his approval. Shame, she loves him. Shame, poor thing. And then as the monkey goes, because now the monkey's trying to kill his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He bites the monkey and throws it, and it dies. Like, this monkey's so powerful and strong and murderous, he kills
and he
it.
only has the use of his mouth.
And that's how he kills it.
Oh, realistic.
We're not done yet.
Of course we're not done yet.
We then find out, hold on a second, Dick Dr. Stanley Tucci, what happened to Alan getting hit by the truck, that's not why he's paralyzed. Right?
Okay.
He's got some genetic condition in his spine, and the accidents kind of like aggravated that. But this is a minor surgery. This man will be able to walk again. Right?
Okay.
So he's... God, Dick Doctor, you just wanted to bonk his girlfriend, so you left the man paralyzed.
But he didn't have to stay paralyzed.
No. So he gets the surgery, and then the final scene is a car pulling up, and then he gets out his own crutches. Oh, man, great. Happy ending, I suppose.
It's not for the monkey.
No, the monkey's fucked. You know?
Wow.
Monkey
This movie
shines.
has blown my mind, and I haven't even seen it.
Yeah,
And it's
no.
blown my mind.
No, and it also ends with a shot of a truck full of all little monkeys now going off to different people, and you go, oh my God.
Sequels.
Do they have the brain shavings?
Yeah, I mean, if they don't have the brain shavings.
Are they just trained monkeys, or they got the brain shavings? What's going? Monkey Shines 2, Monkey Shines 3, another monkey. Monkey Shines 4, simian arrest. You know? Monkey Shines 5, monkeys in Russia. I don't know what's going on, Monkey Shines. This is what's happening. Dori, what do you think?
I don't know what to think. I think I need to watch this movie, though. I really want to watch this movie, especially because it's Romero. That's like an enticing.
Yeah,
part of it.
I mean,
even though he said they cut it to shit.
Yeah, it's cut. No, listen, it's not a Romero movie. He doesn't want anyone to know about it.
Like he doesn't want to be associated.
The movie poster is fascinating. You know that little that toy monkey symbol thing of where the monkey plays that? That's on the movie poster.
I've got the movie poster.
Dori, you know how have you ever seen a movie poster?
That's terrifying.
It's terrifying, yeah. It's one of those little monkeys with the symbol thing.
An experiment in fear.
Do you want to hear a poem that was on the movie poster?
I see it, but you can read it.
Once there was a man whose prison was a chair. The man had a monkey. They made the strangest pair. The monkey ruled the man. It climbed inside his head. And now as fate would have it, one of them is dead.
Dun, dun, dun.
Selling movies through poetry, hey? Hey, good movie. Monkey Shines.
1988. I would have actually thought it would have been earlier, but that's impressive.
Yes, it is very impressive. It is very impressive how late in the 80s, how many better movies we had by then, how much more we knew.
And yet this movie exists.
Fuck it, let's make it, right? Release the...
Your movie's way better than mine.
No, your movie...
Like, I cannot even compare.
Oh, Dori, you know, I put myself through it. This is what the people demand of me. They demand, you got to put yourself through 90 minutes of rubbish for us, and I'll do it. I'll do it. George Romero ain't no happy with that movie. Monkey Shines. Horror movie, but not so much horror movie. Listen, elephant in the room, or the monkey in the room, is that this week was Back to the Future Day.
Oh, God, I missed it.
Yeah, the day, of course, is 21 October, which is the day where, in the best Back to the Future movie, Marty McFly arrives back in 2015. Right? That's the day. Clap my hands. You heard it, right? And it is Back to the Future Day. And found this great article of going, right, we celebrate Back to the Future Day, love it, October 21st. Great. Got an
and
article
we still
here.
don't have...
Whoa. So that's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
What did they get right and what did they get wrong? Right? What did they predict right? So here's where they actually got right. VR headsets.
Yeah.
So they go to Marty McFly's house and his family all have these very Oculus Rift and what's the Apple goggles
Well,
ones?
what came first? You know what I mean? It was modeled on the movie, perhaps.
No, well, it's all science fiction because everyone has ideas and then they see it and then obviously that's an impressionable person who then becomes an engineer who then goes...
Yeah.
So obviously there's got to be some inspiration somewhere along the line. But anyway, so they got VR headsets right.
Cool.
Okay, that's one thing they got right. Holographic films and holograms, and not so much films, but holographic tours. ABBA.
Yes.
ABBA did the holographic tour. Who was the other band? There was another band that did another one. But more than that, so many artists have signed over holographic rights to themselves.
Yep.
So they got that right, even though not in films, stage shows. Electronic payments.
Right.
Yes, Marty McFly gets asked to donate to the Save the Clock fund.
Yeah.
And the man asking him has got a little...
Yoko.
I think the man, basically it is. It is a little Yoko. I think it's Christopher Lloyd plays that guy. It does look a lot like him. So anyway, those are three things: electronic payments, VR headsets, and holographic films. So here's the thing: VR headsets are such a load of shit. Like, I mean, Really?
I mean, they're kind of cool, but you're not going to.
You're not going to.
It's not something you're going to do daily.
No, I mean, even like I've tried to play VR video. It's like, no, it's so stupid. The fuck, and even people into it don't like it. Holographic stuff. It's okay, cool. It's a novelty, but I mean, fine.
Yeah.
But the most practical is obviously electronic payments.
Very.
Now the things is, what did they get wrong? Okay.
So much
wrong. I mean, pretty much everything.
Clothes.
They kind of got a Donald Trumpish world right. You know.
Very.
They got,
wow.
They got that kind of right. Clothes. Well, listen, I mean, it's obviously foreboding, but I mean, Nike released the sneakers that Marty McFly wore. I think they still call the Nike Air McFlies. So they released those. Flying cars. We still don't have flying cars. Every time I see a Tesla truck, I go, but...
honestly.
You can make it fly. Why are you not? You know?
No, I don't think... I can't even drive.
No. So flying cars they got wrong. Rejuvenation clinics. Remember when Doc Brown pulls his face off and he's younger?
Oh, wow.
Remember?
I mean, they've got that in theory.
They do kind of have it.
Surgery and all the new aesthetic treatments.
But it's not something anybody can do. And the way they present it, just anybody can show up. Have you seen that one tech bro who's making himself younger by
with the blood,
drinking his son's blood and shit like that?
Have you seen what he looks like?
Oh my God, it looks like a nightmare. He looks like Willem Dafoe.
He looks like a vampire.
Jeez, he looks exactly like somebody
who's been drinking someone's blood.
Yeah. No, like he's just gonna die, right?
Oh
he's gonna die anyway. He's gonna
or he's gonna be the inventor of something amazing.
Just hang around long enough, compound interest. I mean, maybe that's his game. That's why vampires are always so rich, because they've been compound interest since the 1500s. And then, of course, the one thing that they did not get right, and don't bullshit me, you called the thing the same name, hoverboards.
Yeah.
You know, when I heard kids like, hey, there's hoverboards, I'm like, yeah, finally. I'll even take a Barbie one. And then, no, not the hoverboards like in Back to the Future. So those...
I mean, think about it. There's no ways they could actually make like in Back... I mean, it would be very dangerous.
They did something where it runs on magnetic rails.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen those things.
Yeah.
But it's like, but I get it.
Like, it's just too dangerous. Even if they could make the technology work.
It is very dangerous.
People will die.
I think that is a huge concern of the people, that there would be a lot of deaths and murders with them. I mean, I imagine an errant hoverboard straight into your head.
And a hoverboard controlled by a monkey's brain.
Literally just had the same thought.
Of course you did.
It's terrifying. So anyway, Back to the Future 2, best Back to the Future. Watch them all. Give them all a chance and then make up your own mind. And funny, listen, I just want to end on a little bit of a thing, a little bit Halloween-y. Nightmare on Elm Street. Do you know, it's 40th anniversary of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, that movie killed me. That movie put me off horror for a very long time.
So do you remember any of the, look who I'm asking, do you remember any of the dream scenes, the murderous dream scenes?
Not really.
Because that was the thing. So like the cast of the original Nightmare on Elm Street have been doing the press tours. They're re-releasing the 40-year edition, talking a lot about making Nightmare on Elm Street. And such an interesting thing on Nightmare on Elm Street, and why horror movies kind of worked in the 80s, is because it was the first generation where your parents weren't paying attention to you.
You could watch that kind of stuff.
No. I mean, like, yes, you could watch that kind of stuff, but it's definitely in America. I don't know if we had the latchkey kids.
Yeah.
So
not so much, yeah.
Not so much. So you could be in a scenario where, like, and what was so scary about going, shit, the kids always told the parents, and the parents were either too busy, thought the kids were lying, thought the kids were taking drugs, thought the kids were Satanists and listening to Motley Crue, and going like, we don't believe you. Right? And then they also coupled it with just becoming of age, becoming a teenager, going through body changes, and so many playing on so much of that. Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger, he says one day, shooting in between scenes, he didn't want to take the makeup off. So he goes to his trailer to have a nap. And it was quite a hectic day. He describes it so beautifully. He's so poetic in the way he talks about it. So they knocked on my door and they go, Robert, we're going to try to get the shot with you and Heather before the sun comes up. The only light in the room was around my makeup mirror, dimmed down to halfway. There was a little ghostly light. And I swung out of my cot and looked, and there, buried deep in the mirror, was this deformed, bald, disfigured old man. I went like that, jolts. And the creature in the mirror went like that. Then I realized, oh my God, it's me. But for those few seconds when I first awoke, I had that bitter taste in my mouth from sleep, and I was disoriented. Still 1 foot in my subconscious, and that memory of that other man that I didn't realize was me buried in the mirror, I still return to that couple of times a year. That'll show up in a dream or something because it was so disorienting. It obviously made a little crease in what's left of my brain. He scared himself.
He literally nightmared himself.
Right?
Wow.
I love that thing. So 1 foot in my subconscious.
It's beautifully
so
written.
poetic.
Wow.
He's like just...
but he traumatized himself for life.
Freddy Krueger traumatized,
everyone, the whole world.
I was just about to say Freddie Mercury traumatized the whole, and it would still play. Freddy Krueger traumatized the whole,
everyone.
Do you remember? So I was going to say to you, I went to go look for the 12 scariest scenes, or the scariest scenes. Yeah, there's a list of 12 of them. I mean, this shit was just...
The only one I remember is someone on the ceiling, like floating on the ceiling.
That's the first one. And listen.
That's the only one I remember.
Subsequently, it's again, movies from the 80s were shared experiences. Now there's so many horror movies. So many. You can't watch all of them. But
most
all
of them are terrible.
They are nightmares. And they're just like trying to shock value. It's so... Nightmare on Elm Street was so visceral because it was like this mix of... It was all practical. They don't want using any CGI. So that one exactly is that during a sleepover with Rod, Glenn and Nancy, she finds herself in a nightmare. Freddy Krueger's in it. And she's in Rod's nightshirt. And yes, not only is she on the ceiling, she's sliced open and she's bleeding all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And then she wakes up from her nightmare and looks down and she's covered in blood. Another one, Debbie is another character. This is from Nightmare on Elm Street 4. So Nightmare on Elm Street.
I didn't get that far. I did 1 and 2. I might have done 3.
Debbie, the character, was suffering from sleep deprivation. Freddy seeps into her dream, looking for exercise. So there was like a exercise kind of theme or feeling here. Debbie sprouts a cockroach's tentacles, and then her environment instantly morphs into a sticky bug contraption. She's now only a few inches tall, and as Freddy moves around the bug hotel, she loses balance and face plants into yellow goo. Debbie unleashes a blood-chilling scream, and the viewer watches in horror as her face peels away to reveal a cockroach underneath. Okay.
That sounds so bad.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy possesses Jesse. Jesse turns to his closest friend, with whom he takes gym class, and begs to watch over him. Because now, obviously, like if I fall asleep, or if you got to protect me. In case of a life-ending nightmare, he should at least have someone there he knows. Freddy has a far more disturbing plan and uses Jesse's body to wreak havoc in the real world. Once Freddy slices Jesse open, he forces his way into reality. So now he's in the dream. He cuts Jesse open, climbs out of him, and enters into the real world and kills his friend.
That sounds familiar.
I'm going to read one more. Freddy the Puppeteer. There is a death scene in Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors that is straight up barbaric, even by Freddy's standards. This was in 1987. This time, the story revolves around a group of troubled, nightmare-afflicted kids who have been committed to Western Hills Psychiatric Hospital by their parents. Freddy pounces and preys on their various weaknesses, from drug addiction to aspiration for TV fame. One of the poor, unfortunate souls is a young teen named Philip, a frequent sleepwalker who turns his trauma into making clay puppets. During a late-night slumber, Philip has a nightmare he's been turned into a morbid puppet. And Freddy cuts into his wrists and ankles, yanking out tendons to use as puppet strings. He then manipulates Philip through the hospital's halls and onto the roof of an adjoining building. With the rest of the teens watching in panic, trying to scream and bang against the metal window bars, there seems to be no possible way of escape. Freddy then snaps the tendon-made strings, and Philip tumbles onto the concrete below.
Who comes up with this? Who thinks of that? Like you got to be a bit worried about the person who thought of that.
But that's why Nightmare on Elm Street scared the shit out of all of us.
And it's still like legendary.
40 years, how many people have copied Nightmare on Elm Street? So many have copied it, and you're still going, that is disturbing as shit. Fucking tendons and puppets. But I think it's a thing because it played so much into being a teenager.
Yeah.
And just people not listening to me and not understanding and being alone, like my most vulnerable in my sleep. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, gotta wrap the show. That came in very loud. This has been that 80s show. Thank you for listening.
The final jump scare of the show.
That was intentional. That's what I meant to do. Dori, thank you for joining me on that 80s show this week. Thank you for bringing Shelly Long to the table.
No, always.
Give Monkey Shines a watch.
Definitely.
Oh, there is a phrase in it. He calls somebody a clinical cunt.
Oh, love it.
Where do you get such things? This has been That 80s Show. Everything you heard on the show today can be found That 80s Show SA on Facebook. If you've heard the show, you like the show, tell a friend about the show.
Tell all your friends.
Get them to listen to it. They will enjoy it. It's a shared experience. We're all going through the same thing at the same time. We're all frightened of Freddy Krueger. God, you see somebody in a green and red jersey, I'm walking the other side.
Never mind that it's a Christmas jersey.
No, fuck that. Honestly, don't you?
No.
Green and red jersey, beware. Thanks for joining me, Dori. Goodbye.
Bye.